Last year, the Plunge helped raise more than $85,000 for local community nonprofits.
I mean, 2020 really was the year of the cancellation, so we're hoping 2021 we can get back to doing everything that we love to do.
That's all we can do, right?
Fingers crossed, think positive. All right, we're just a couple minutes away from the 5 o'clock show.
Coming up, the very latest round of crackdowns from state officials in New York and New Jersey as the number of new coronavirus cases and infections continues to surge across the tri-state area.
Plus, how the pandemic has pushed more millennials to move back home with mom and dad. We'll talk about that.
Don't go anywhere. Good Day Wake Up is coming right back. Stay with us.
From Fox 5 News, this is Good Day Wake Up.
Good day, New York, and it's 5 o'clock on this Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kerry Drew.
And I'm Bianca Peters. Here's a quick look outside. It's a much different scene than what we saw yesterday, with inches of rain being dumped on many parts of our area. Mike will be joining us shortly with what you need to know about your forecast this morning.
Governor Cuomo coming up with a new winter strategy as the number of hospitalizations hit a new high, plus more restrictions are headed toward the Garden State.
President-elect Joe Biden hitting the ground running with his transition plans. This is shortly after being released from the hospital.
And it is officially December. That means Christmas is right around the corner. And that also means Santa and Mrs. Claus are hard at work. We have a scoop on how you can be a part of the holiday experience at the North Pole this year.
The North Pole, talking about something cold weather that experiencing up there. Not too bad here, though.
No.
I'll take the weather here at the North Pole. We'll turn things over to Mike Woods, get a check on our forecast for this Tuesday. Mike, good morning.
And good morning to you. I'll tell you what, you're probably going to be changing your mind because tomorrow morning, you're definitely going to have a chill in the air as we drop down into the 20s and 30s for lows. So it's a much different looking day coming up for us tomorrow as well as Thursday. Both of those days are looking pretty chilly. But today, it's really not that bad. I mean, right now, we're in the mid to upper 50s around the tri-state. Your forecast highs, well, I'll tell you what, they're kind of a topsy-turvy thing. Forecast highs, the highs for the day actually came in closer to midnight. We were closer to the upper 50s to low 60s. But we'll be dropping down through the 40s and 50s through the day today. Right now, you're at 56 Central Park, 53 in White Plains. So your high temps already happened. The colder air is coming in, even though we have the winds coming in from the south. That's usually not the case. Usually the south wind brings in the warmer air. Now, right now, the winds are coming through at around 3 to 13 miles per hour, much less windy than what we had yesterday. And the clouds are trying to break up. The showers have pretty much moved on, but we still have the area of low pressure kind of hanging back over the Great Lakes. Enough cold, unstable air with that trough behind us that we could trigger a few more scattered lighter showers today, especially to the northwest of the city in the higher elevations. But most of us will probably see a fairly dry day. But there's still that small rain chance, so just have a small umbrella somewhere close by. Temps drop through the afternoon into the upper 40s, and we'll continue to drop it down to a low tonight of 35. Cold days for you Wednesday, Thursday before we get the warm up for the end of the week. All right, let's get over to Naomi Yané right now and see what we have with our commute situation. Weather is a little better than what we had yesterday, that's for sure. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Mike, and good morning to you at home. Unfortunately, yesterday's weather left behind a little bit of a mess on Route 3 this morning. Right now, eastbound Route 3, still seeing some flooding out there by Valley Road. It's passable with care, of course, but keep that in mind as you make your way out this morning. Again, that's some flooding for you. We've still got some ongoing issues along 440 on the northbound side there by Pulaski Street. Rather, you've got an accident out there. The right lane is taken down. We've also got ongoing problems on the southbound side of North Avenue by Jersey Gardens Boulevard. An accident there off on the shoulder, not causing a whole lot of delay this morning, so a little bit of good news for us there. A quick look now to our cameras and a look at our Hudson River crossing. Because you look at the George Washington Bridge, no major problems as you make your way through the toll plaza there and then getting across the span. Alternate side and meter rules there in effect for us today. Kerry?
Naomi, thanks so much. Now to the latest in the fight to slow the spread of COVID-19 in our area. Governor Murphy rolling out new restrictions in New Jersey with cases spiking there, while Governor Cuomo is shifting his focus to New York's hospitals as health officials report an uptick in the number of new cases. Fox 5's Kayla Mamelak live on the east side with more on all of this. Kayla, good morning to you.
Kerry, good morning. And yeah, it's a cautious optimism outside Pfizer headquarters this morning. Approval for their coronavirus vaccine is seemingly just weeks away. The CDC even set to vote today on who will receive some of the first doses. But as quickly as health officials are trying to work, the virus is spreading even faster.
We are now worried about overwhelming the hospital system.
In what's feeling more and more like a recurring nightmare, Governor Andrew Cuomo now sounding the same alarms as he did back in the spring. New York's coronavirus hospitalization rate is increasing dramatically. And with private indoor gatherings becoming a leading cause in the spread, Cuomo's concerned upcoming holiday celebrations will drop an unbearable load on the healthcare system.
COVID is an enemy that we're dealing with. It's attacking people. It's killing people. So I talk about it and think about it in terms of a war.
This battle is going to be fought a little differently, though. Health officials have learned a lot about the virus throughout this bitter year. And so the governor is laying out 5 new strategies, including ramping up testing and ensuring hospital systems balance the patient load. If one facility has too many patients, they're required to shift some to another facility with more beds. There will also be a strong focus on keeping schools open, a sharp contrast to New York's response in the first wave of this pandemic. Lastly, there's work being done to create an equitable and safe vaccination program.
That is going to be the weapon that will end the war.
New Jersey's hospital beds are also filling up. Starting December 7th, Governor Phil Murphy is capping all outdoor gatherings at 25 people, down from 150. Religious and political gatherings are exempt. Testing is being ramped up specifically in nursing homes. And beginning Saturday, all indoor sports will be banned through January 2nd, with the exception of collegiate level and professional teams.
The pause in these activities will help slow the spread of the virus. These new restrictions will give us some added protection.
Back here in New York, Governor Cuomo also saying there seems to be a major reduction in spread in bars, restaurants, salons, and even in gyms. So a statewide shutdown of those businesses doesn't appear to be in the near future. The governor isn't taking it off the table, though. He says if the hospital system gets too overwhelmed, a full New York pause will take effect again. For now, we're live outside Pfizer headquarters on the east side. Bianca, I'll send it back inside to you.
Kayla, thank you so much for the update. New York City public schools will not have to temporarily close in-person learning anymore, even if they land in designated coronavirus clusters. State officials say that's because of a revised state approach, along with a new city plan that pledges to test 20% of students and staff at each school each week. This change comes as city officials prepare to reopen elementary schools, preschools, and schools for students with severe disabilities as early as next week.
And also, there's a new online tool to give you updates on wait times at city-run COVID-19 testing sites. Following the Thanksgiving holiday, you might decide to get tested if you had a gathering or if you traveled. Testandtrace.nyc, that's the site. It'll post and update wait times 3 times a day at 51 of the city's coronavirus testing centers.
President-elect Joe Biden expanding his White House rosters days after being released from the hospital. This news coming as 2 more swing states certify the results of the election. Fox 5's Robert Moses is here now to break all of this down for us. Robert, good morning.
Bianca, good morning to you. For the first time, the president-elect received the Presidential Daily Brief, which is comprised of classified national security information. It is yet another sign that transition is moving forward despite the president's protests. With construction on the inauguration stage well underway, today President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will introduce their picks for key economic posts, headlined by former Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen, who could become the first female Treasury Secretary in history. The president-elect cleared 2 more hurdles when 2 battleground states, Wisconsin and Arizona, certified their results in his favor.
The votes have been tabulated. All 15 counties have certified their results.
Georgia's Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger certified results there more than a week ago following a hand recount. A machine recount continues. On Twitter, President Trump took aim at both Raffensperger and Georgia's Republican governor. Why won't Governor Brian Kemp, the hapless governor of Georgia, use his emergency powers, which can be easily done, to overrule his obstinate Secretary of State and do a match of signatures on envelopes? The president tweeted, "It will be a goldmine of fraud, and we will easily win the state." There's no evidence of that, the Secretary of State told reporters.
There are those who are exploiting the emotions of many Trump supporters with fantastic claims, half-truths, misinformation, and frankly, they are misleading the president as well, apparently.
The president plans to travel to Georgia on Saturday to campaign for Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, who face runoff elections on January 5th. If at least one of them wins, Republicans maintain control of the Senate. Should both lose, Democrats take over, courtesy of Vice President-elect Harris's tie-breaking vote.
And there is progress.
Dr. Scott Atlas, the president's special advisor on the coronavirus pandemic, has now resigned. That was not unexpected. His post was always temporary. In his resignation letter, Atlas wished the incoming Biden administration well and touted Operation Warp Speed. During his time, Atlas was widely criticized for holding positions like his questioning the use of face coverings. Kerry.
Robert Moses for us this morning. Robert, thank you. Starting today, the Southern District of New York's federal court that covers Manhattan, the Bronx, and other New York counties is suspending in-person proceedings. This action is being taken because of the coronavirus pandemic. The pause is scheduled to remain in effect until January 15th. According to this order, jury trials at the district's courthouses will be suspended, while civil proceedings and other criminal matters will be handled remotely.
Your time right now, 5:10. And how would you like to take an inside look at the Christmas experience from the North Pole?
Sounds pretty cool, right? Well, coming up, Ryan will show us how your family can be a part of the holiday journey with Mr. and Mrs. Claus, along with the 8 reindeer.
Plus, Mike is keeping track of the forecast. Mike, good morning.
And good morning, Bianca. And we still have some scattered showers possible today as the area of low pressure tries to whip a few through. They're coming in from the northwest, but the big rain that we had yesterday and wind have now moved on, and that's good news for us. Temperatures will be falling through the day here today, through the 50s, down into the 40s later on this afternoon. And yes, it looks like we've got a cool couple of days coming up for us. But if you want forecast info 10 days out, download the Fox 5 NY weather app. It's got that and so much more, and it's free. Good day. I'll be right back.
Good Day, brought to you by Hyundai. Hyundai holidays are here now at your Hyundai dealer.